Growing up, was it a nice thing that your mum was Jennifer Saunders, or was it a kind of an embarrassing thing?
I mean,
I don't mean the actual woman, I mean the idea of Jennifer Saunders off the telly.
Yeah, well, I think I sort of assumed that everyone's mum and dad was on telly. I was like, so what show's your dad on? But I did come home one day and ask her if she was Jennifer Saunders.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand what...
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone at school had said I was.
Yeah, oh, your mum's Jennifer Saunders. I was like, all right.
Whatevs.
Yeah.
But of course, not just mum, Dad, Ed Edmondson.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So did they give you advice going into comedy and things?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you did.
I think it's probably...
I remember one really good bit of advice my dad gave me when a boy at my school had got told off for doing a fart in class. Like a really loud one. And so I came home and I told my dad, and he was like, Beatty. And he got really serious. He was like, Beatty, don't you ever let anyone tell you that farting isn't funny.
Careers have been made of.
It built this house.
Yeah.
Farting and falling over. Yeah. Honestly, that's careers are made of.
Listen, Beatty Edmondson and Jennifer Saunders, because a new Disney movie, it's called Patrick.
Us.
You're up.
Hello.
It opens on the 29th of June, and now neither of you is Patrick.
No,
No,
unfortunately.
No,
Yeah.
because Patrick is this little creature here.
Yeah.
The star.
Well, no, you don't.
No, so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No.
So sorry.
I don't have a moment,
So
Jennifer.
sorry.
The film.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that.
It can't be easy for you, BT. It really can't.
No, it really isn't. Just stop staging me at every turn.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, BT, who do you play starring in the movie?
I play Miss Francis, who is an English teacher whose life has gone a bit off track. And then she inherits a pug who is extremely badly behaved. And, you know, she hates it to begin with, but then it sort of turns her life around.
Yeah, dogs change lives.
Yeah.
Jennifer, who do you play?
I managed to be on set one day, visiting my daughter, and somehow wheedled my way into a small part in the film.
Insisted on bringing a fat suit.
No, come on.
I wondered if you'd gone all Robert De Niro for it, because...
No, I have found that actually, as one gets slightly older, a fat suit is... Oh, padding, yes. I actually have my own padding. And I offer it up to anyone that wants it, you know, in the... So I said to Jenny Bevan, who did the costume, I said, well, do you know, I'd be quite good in a small part. Yeah. I have my own padding. She went, yes, I can see. Now, I said, no, I have my own padding. It's very expensive stuff, padding. It takes a long time to
Is this the
make.
suit? Is this the suit you brought with you? This
Yes, I've got this. You want to see the suit?
Let's see your padding.
Well, can I just say that this suit was actually rejected. And I'll show you exactly why this suit was rejected. Excuse me. I'm just going to show you my padding.
Honestly.
This is the padding. Okay. This is the padding, right? And this... I'll get into the padding. Hang on a minute. Oh. It's much better. It's honestly much better if I'm in it. You'll get the...
Mind your microphone. Don't put it up too high.
I'll put it up just to here.
Yeah, just to there, yeah.
Right, okay. And that's... This is the padding that Dawn and I had made for when we were on tour. And it was rejected because I suddenly realised that... You can't be...
You weren't expecting to see that tonight. Yes.
I can't believe that he's shocked by that. I find that extraordinary.
It's like a little thing on it, though. Never
It's very realistic.
It's quite realistic, yes.
Very realistic.
Bald as a coot, though, I
And
guess.
I sent it to Jenny without realising that, of course, she was in for a bit of a surprise when she went into the underpants. Because we used to use it to... as a joke at the end of the show. We used to just get the willies out of the fat men's costume. So I had other padding made, and I'm really... But if anyone ever wants to cast me in anything with that...
Yes.
It's there.
It's all there.
It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Beatty, you not only had your mother and her padding on set,
Yes.
but nearly all of your scenes are with a small dog.
Yes.
I mean, do you like dogs?
I love dogs. And do you
that's
know
good.
what? He took a bit of convincing to be friends with me.
And what was the thing about the kissing?
Yeah, he had to sort of lick me on my face, but he wouldn't do it. And every time I went to go and kiss him, he'd be like, sorry, who's... Can we get her up? But, so they had to put pate on my face, which was degrading. And I'm a vegetarian, so it was... It wasn't even nice pate, it was from a tube. And yes, he did lick some into my mouth, which... So I've got to take
That's a tough day at work.
Yeah, sort of
dog saliva and cheap pate. Yeah. One of the first things that makes you kind of grind your gears is your name. Why did your name upset you so much?
Dawn and I are both forces kids. Our dads both worked for the forces. And we moved schools, didn't we, every year. And every time I moved, everyone would say, Adrian, what's that girl's name? You got a girl's name. And it would be a fight. I've always hated it, still hate it.
And
I couldn't change it. And
Yes, you can.
No, eventually.
If you want to.
This nearly happened. Rick and I, who was my old comedy partner, we were doing some kind of Saturday night, Sunday morning. It was an old chat show. And it was our first TV, and we got an equity card with it. And they said, you know, this is the time to make up your name. So, yeah, left rehearsals, and we went away, and we thought about names. And Rick sort of spotted that Ed Munson was a bit like Ed Munson, Ed Monsoon, Eddie Monsoon. It became Eddie Monsoon. We thought, what a brilliant name, Eddie Monsoon.
Yeah.
So went in next day, told the production assistant, Eddie Monsoon, that's my name. And they said, no, it isn't. It's Adrian Edmondson. We've already sent it off.
But we
the name.
those who know Aid call him Eddie.
Eddie.
I call him
really?
Eddie.
And
Yeah.
Eddie Monsoon was the name Jennifer took for Ab Fab.
Adina Monsoon.
So it's
That's cute.
it's had a better career without me.
But actually, a big chunk of the book, Adrian, is, you know, starting off with the comic strip and all of that. But what's so weird about tonight is that you guys kind of did it together.
When did we meet? 1980? 79? 80?
Yes, 80. 80.
Well, I think what's extraordinary about our little group, me, Dawn and Jennifer and Nigel Planer and Rick, who's not with us anymore, but and Peter Richardson, is that we met before we ever made it. And we know who we are. I know who she is and she knows. In a way that you can't. You can't really know someone once they've got any kind of notoriety, can you?
No,
And we know, I know, look, that's almost the awful perm you once had,
I
isn't
know, that's
Yeah.
bad. That was bad. Well, one of the many awful perms.
it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
is that you? I just realised
Yeah,
what I'm
that's me
looking
on the
at.
left.
Yeah.
There's Jennifer.
Oh my
in the purple
gosh.
jacket.
That's me on the right with some hair.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We were young.
No,
That's
you
bad
look
news.
better. You guys look better now. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry. Now, people said to me, you're having Goldie and Sandy on the sofa. What do they have in common, apart from they were both the names of Blue Peter dogs? And I say to them... they weren't allowed on the sofa, so there's a total no difference. But I say to them, you're both working showbiz mothers. Because obviously, the gorgeous Kate has had huge success.
Yes.
And is that hard for you as a mom, kind of to let go and kind of go have your career, I'm not going to interfere, I'm not going to meddle, or...?
No, because I don't do that with any of the kids. My philosophy with all of them is to let them go and do what they have to do. I'm not a meddler by nature.
How many have you got, Goldie?
4.
Fab.
So, no, and Kate's...
Kids.
I do too. But no, I don't have a problem with that. I love it. I love watching her bloom and flourish. I like, you know, all things that she does.
And are you a meddler?
Am I a meddler? Well, I
Yes,
always
you are.
tell them... Yes. I tell them they were lucky to be born into a benevolent dictatorship. I'm in charge, but I'm terribly kind.
One of your eldest has gone to university now.
I know. She's at university. In fact, probably watching with all her grubby chums, I imagine.
Isn't that... you know, what you're talking about is such an interesting thing because empty nest is, I think, gone, right?
Yeah.
Empty nest is huge. I mean, when you spend so much time being a mom and doing all this stuff and doing the cooking and the swimming and the doing and the show business and the, you know, husbands and partners, and then suddenly they're gone. And it's a very profound, empty experience. And it's, you know, they say empty nest, and, oh, I'll be climbing a mountain. You know, when my kids grow up, I'm going to be doing this and going to India, which, you know, by the way, I'm on my way to, so. But it was devastating. When they left the house, it was quiet. I tiptoed up the stairs. I looked down and Kurt was watching TV. I went upstairs. What do? Nobody to cook for, nobody to do. It was devastating. I mean, it really took me a long time. So it's like that empty nest thing is really real. I think that's the part that I look at and wish I didn't have to go through that part.
Because Kate, obviously your experience was so different because, you know, Goldie and Kurt, they were in the... So were they super protective of you?
No. I mean, you know, I think I like came out like a can girl. Like I came out doing high kicks, and my mom was like, uh-oh. Like, and I think it was more about them wanting me to stay in school and not like feel like I needed to be like performing and doing things all the time. They wanted me to have more time like as a kid. But I was like, from 10 years old, I just wanted to be on a stage.
Yeah.
Then it was like, once I was 18, they just were like, bye, have fun, and...
But you say that, but it sounds like your mom is still quite involved. I read a story somewhere about, like, you were giving birth and your mother was very...
Oh, she is involved. When she's there, she's involved, and then she goes. She was, like, in my vagina. I mean, it was like, a mother couldn't get more inside of a birthing vagina than my mother. And she had these, like, reading glasses on that had lights on.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was out of a comedy. I mean, it was like
Goldie.
literally. Oh, she.
What a privilege, though.
Go.
I mean, you know,
shouting at the baby, follow the light.
Both of the kids. But the thing is that having mommy there, as funny as it is, was really special. Yeah.
Ron Howard, you work with your family like all the time.
Whenever I can. My brother Clint's an actor. My father Rance is still acting in his 80s and working all the time. I love to work with him.
And your mom sadly is no longer with us, but she did get a part in, was it Apollo 13?
Apollo 13, she had a really nice role, which almost didn't happen because I got this call from my dad, and he said, you know, I just read the rewrite on Apollo 13. And I said, yeah. And he said, there's a new part in there. I said, yeah, there is. Jim Lovell's mother. I said, yeah, she's got a nice scene. I said, yeah. You know who'd be really good for that? Who do you think, Dad? Your mom. And boy, I don't know. I'd have to audition her. and he said, well, fine. And my mom was all for that. And she said, I don't want to do it if Ronnie doesn't think I can do it. So I went over to their house and we worked through the scene, and she was great, and we did it in a couple of takes, and I've never been prouder, and she even got written up in the New York Times Review, and it was wound up being a great moment. She played Jim Lovell's mother.
It would have been worse if you hadn't given her the part after the audition. This isn't going to work out.
I'll tell you what's really bad. My dad's an actor. I cast him whenever it's appropriate, you know. And here's the call I've had to make to him. Hey, Dad, you know, you did great, but, you know, the movie was a little long. And next would be, am I in it at all? Maybe in the extended DVD cut. So that's a tough call. But he's an old warhorse. He understands.
But Bryce, what's your connection to Ireland? Are the Howards something to do with Ireland?
I mean, like, I don't know if you can tell. I might have some connection to Ireland genetically. But my dad shot Far and Away there when I was 10 years old. And we lived in Dingle, Ireland. And there was a dolphin, a wild dolphin. Fungi the dolphin. And I got to swim with Fungi the dolphin, as many people who
in Ireland
go there.
What?
A wild dolphin. And when we were shooting Jurassic, the first Jurassic, I was thinking about Fungi the dolphin, and I looked it up, and he was still alive.
They say that. There's a dolphin called Fungi. They all kind of look alike. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He remembers you. Look. But you posted a picture of yourself in Dingle when you were a little girl, and honestly, it looks like an ad from Bord Fulcher or something. Look at that!
Oh my God!
Did Ron Howard? Did he steal you from a family in Ireland? Like, is there other people watching now going, there she is?
I mean, it's this was our backyard in
Wow.
Dingle, and this was, I think it was a one-bedroom house, and my parents stayed in kind of like the kitchen / living room area, and myself and my 3 siblings, we all shared a bed, and there were sheep outside the window and rolling hills, and it was all very idyllic.
That does not smell of Hollywood glamour to me. Anyone could say like that. That's terrible.
Wow. But when it's a novelty, it's glamorous.
Yes, right. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And there was a dolphin involved. So,
Yes.
How bad could it be? Is it true, Micheál, they made you audition to play Liam's son?
Yeah, kind of. I felt like for my own dignity, it was good that I auditioned for the director and not just have it be like, yeah, I want my son to play this and that's that. So
was that co-pursuit?
No, that was for this one.
Well, that's you auditioned.
Yeah.
I didn't know
James,
that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're talking now.
Can I ask a question, Micheál? Having worked in a family business, how is it working in a family business?
Woo! It's actually all right. I mean, honestly, it was kind of traumatizing at the age of 5, seeing your dad get sliced in half by a lightsaber or blown up in some crazy factory explosion, and also kissing somebody else. That I always thought that was like CGI as a kid. I thought it was some like weird Hollywood effect. It wasn't real until I came the age. I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's actually part of the profession. Okay.
That's really. Did you take Micheál to set, Liam?
Yes, I have to tell. No, go ahead. Go on. One little funny story. I remember I was making Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in Leavesden Studios about 23 years ago, and it was at lunchtime, and Michael was 2, so I was carrying him, showing him the set at lunchtime, and R2-D2 was parked up against wherever, and I was carrying Michael around and pointing things out, and he saw R2-D2. Now, he knew nothing about Star Wars or saw any movies or comics or anything like that. He's 2. But he saw this little metallic creature, and he was like this. Had to get down from my arms, waddled over to this thing and started hugging it, which I thought was fascinating. And I remember after lunch, I told George Lucas, I said, George, I brought my son to see, he had to go down and go over to R2-D2 and just hug him. And George wasn't surprised. He had a smile on his face and he says, yeah, he has that effect on children. Aww. I says, but my kid is 2 years of age. And, it's a big chunk of metal. But he just knew it was cuddly and comfortable and friendly,
Is this what it's like, Micheál, when you bring dates home? I feel
Pretty much, he's got the lightsaber out, he's, yeah.
I'm going, hi. Have you seen Taken 1, 2, and 3 by any chance? What about you? Have you seen The Phantom Menace? Okay, I'll leave you guys.
Micheál, you mentioned the lightsaber. Do you have any Star Wars stuff in your house?
There is the Holy Grail, which I think
I've
got tonight.
This piece of wood has been to the planet Tatooine and back many, many times.
Wow.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Terribly sorry.
Oh.
The film was going to be called The Beginning. It says it here. And anyway, this is the one I had in the film. And all the Star Wars fans all think, well, you turn on the lightsaber with your mind. He says, no, there's a red button. That's it. It's nothing to do with the mind. Anyway.
Is this your first time abroad since you had a new baby, Chelsea?
It is.
So is that nice, or are you kind of,
Well, I'm sleep deprived and overcaffeinated wherever I am.
Okay, sorry.
But he's here with me.
Oh, he is here with you?
Yes. I mean, not in your studio, but
okay.
he is here in London with me.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you left him behind.
No, well, I'm breastfeeding, so he has to come with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He doesn't really have a choice.
You can always FedEx it. Just
Maybe.
And this is your 3rd child, right?
It is, yeah.
And how is Hillary Rodham Clinton at being a grandmother?
Well, she's a very good grandmother. but she also spoils them, which is a point of some continued conversation between the two of us. Yes, like she thinks pizza is fine at least twice, if not 3 times a day.
Well, they like it.
Amy,
I mean, really.
Yeah, they eat it, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
eat it.
Not being very
Indeed.
helpful.
Like Hillary, yes, I do, yes. And then you give them back. All sugared up.
It is the best system. You know, you get these wonderful new people in your life, and you're thrilled, you're so happy for your child who's now a parent, and you get exhausted helping to take care of them, and then you leave. I mean, it works out perfectly.
In terms of being a gutsy woman, obviously we talked to you, Hillary, that it was something you chose. But I feel for you, Chelsea, you didn't choose. You became very famous. You were on a world stage very young. How old were you when you went to the White House? 13?
12.
12. I hope the world has changed since then. But back then, I can remember, it was just open season on Chelsea Clinton jokes.
Yes.
And things. Were you protected from that, or was it possible to protect you
I don't
from
think
that?
it was possible to protect me from that. I mean, partly because I'd go to school and people would repeat what they'd heard on the radio or the television. Partly because I was reading the newspaper, so sometimes I would like read in the newspaper what had been said.
Yeah.
And it was a bit disorienting because it was just sort of everyone. And yet, thankfully, Graham, I knew that it was totally bonkers that these adults were making fun of a kid. Like, why did anyone think it was okay to make fun of an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old? Like, what had not gone right for them when they were 11 or 12 that they thought, you know, it was acceptable to make fun of a little girl, basically, because they thought I was awkward or because of my braces or my frizzy hair, because, I don't know, I had said like too many times or whatever these things were that they felt justified in mocking me, you know, in front of millions of people. And I'm really thankful to my mom because I knew it was just not about me. It was all about them.
God. But it must have been horrible as a parent. It must have been hellish for you guys.
First of all, as Chelsea said, it was so bizarre. I mean, there are plenty of reasons that these people in shows could criticize Bill or me or anything about you know, his politics. I mean, that's totally fair game. But why pick on a child?
Yeah.
And it really hurt me a lot. But it also bewildered me. I couldn't understand it. Because, I mean, look, politics is a brutal sport, you know, contact sport and all of that. So when you get into it, you know you're going to get battered and bruised a little by what people say about you and how they characterize you. But I think kids should be off limits. I think everybody's kids should be off limits.
And I think now, in terms of like mainstream media and, you know, like a show like this, and so I don't think we would ever do it now.
No.
But then in other ways, it's got worse because you've got a totally unpoliced social media.
Right.
And I know, Chelsea, you try very hard to maintain civility on social media, but it's a losing battle.
And I do take it really personally when people attack Sasha and Malia Obama or even Barron Trump. I mean, Barron was 11 when his father was elected, so just a year younger than I was when my dad was elected. I was 11 when he announced, 12 when he won.
Yeah.
And I just find it abhorrent that people who are, you know, arguably on the same side of the political spectrum as I am, think that it's okay to make whatever point they're trying to make about his father kind of through making fun of his kid. I mean, I disagree with President Trump on everything, but I would stand on the barricades to defend his son's right to privacy and his son's right to have the childhood that I think every kid deserves, whatever their address.
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Neneh Cherry has written a memoir. This is it. It's called 1,000 Threads, and it's out now. And I suppose the question that everyone, this is the, like, who do you play and what can you tell us about your character?
And what's your name?
I feel so like such a loser because I can't really go into talking about how deeply I researched it, except that I lived it.
You
for
lived it.
60
You put the work in.
to make the book.
Yeah.
So.
And I just want to go back to that moment I mentioned in your intro about this studio, Top of the Pops, 1988. You're performing Buffalo Stance in here.
Is that in this actual?
This in here, yeah.
It was in here.
In here. And it was in December, so it's almost 36 years to the day. And often, if we're going to show a clip from 1988, we'll just look at it, and it'll be funny, it'll be hilarious. Oh, look what we used to look like, look what you used to sound like. You're so cool in this.
Really?
It's still so kind of current. Let's have a little look of you on Top of the Pops. And the backing singers, backing dancers, you just found them in a club?
Yeah. Me and my dear, 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 dear friend, Judy Blame, who I worked with for many years, he and I were in the WAG, the infamous WAG Club on Water Street, and there were these two nut bags. And then there were a lot of nut bags in the, you know. But they were particularly nutty. They looked like two demented grannies, teenage grannies. We were just like, oh my God, these two girls are so cool. They have to be in the video. Of course, we felt like really like two creepy perverts kind of going up to them and sort of asking them if they wanted to come and be in a video, you know, next week. But they did. And
they got on top of the Pops.
And they got on top of the Pops, and we did quite a lot of gigs, and yeah.
Nana looks so cool.
Doesn't she really?
And I went to the WAG Club in 1988, and I've just remembered that I got turned away. I only went once.
Way.
I got turned away because I was wearing my friend's suit, and he's 5'8". And genuinely, the bouncers looked at my feet and went, nah, not cool enough. Yeah.
People come and say hello to everybody. That's Daniel, Jodie, Rebel, and Love Ali. Woo! Proper pop star clothes. Well done.
I mean, I'm trying. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's
I
good.
think these were made for somebody with like a lot longer legs than me. Pretty sure.
You're in them now. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Go out after the show. You need to use those boots. Yeah. So that is the single. It's out now and it's a hit. It's all, I hear it everywhere. It's fantastic.
Well, that's good.
But the song that you just made, the "Don't Call Me Up," what I like about it is that it's sort of pop as therapy, because you wrote it about how you wanted to feel.
Exactly. So when I wrote the song, I was going through like a very specific, difficult breakup. I mean, breakups are difficult in general.
Yes.
They kind of suck.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be over this person, so I'm going to write a song about how I'm going to feel in 6 months when this person's calling me and I'm like, hey, I just don't care anymore. And it's going to feel great. And the song kind of helped me get there.
Wow. And now he feels sick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be petty.
And we should say, because this is I'm not sure we've had this before, a pop star who is a kind of a child of a pop star and a pop producer. I mean, you grew up with pop.
I did, yes. My dad's a producer and my mum is an artist.
Nelly Cherry?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look, there they are.
But because of your dad, like, did he record with people in the house?
Yeah, there were always, like, people around. But people always ask me this, and I'm like, I was just a kid. I was just building Lego. Like, I didn't care who was in the house.
Or
like, now people are like...
Also,
I was just like...
very like
I didn't care. They were like, oh, did you know blah, blah, blah from Massive Attack and Sugar Bits? I was like, I was doing something. I was painting or, like, I don't know, I don't remember. I was just a kid.
How depressing if you're in the Sugar Babes going, she was a child. Brendan, because, you know, obviously everyone's saying how wonderful Ireland is, but because of your successful film career, you must have considered moving to America at some point.
Funny enough, not really. Not that way. No, because I had 4 kids. I had 4 lads already before I went kind of late into full-time acting. I've been doing it, but not with any view to make a living from it. So I went from 34. So by the time it came to me, and I can tell you actually, one of the first things I did was a thing called Lake Placid, which we shot in Vancouver. Mary came over with the 4 lads, and they would have been in between maybe 8, 9 to sort of maybe 14.
Yeah.
And and so they came in late, and I said, we got to get them something to eat, or just we went up for a walk. Vancouver's fabulous, but we saw a nice little place. It's still open, great. In we go. And we noticed that, I was thinking about it when your little shorts came up on the shorts of Inishmore. The restaurant was Hooters.
I love that my shorts brought you to.
Yeah. Little orangey shorts, and you know, the girls are all dressed up as you know, American cheerleaders, stroke girl next door type of thing. But anyway, so we went in and we did. They turned into all these really lovely, they saw the kids and they were more frightened than we were. I said, uh-oh, and they said, kids, but they were lovely. And about 3 months later, the delegation of the lads arrived up and said, listen, we've had a chat, Dad. If you're thinking of moving to America or over that side, it's perfectly fine with us.
They love it. The city calls Hooters.
Donald, you've worked with the great Tom Cruise. What is it, American Made?
Can you do that?
American Made. Probably not. No, I actually had to reverse a car in that he was in at the same time as me. And I remember looking down and his hand was on the stick shift thing, and I was like, OK, that's the way this is going to go. I was meant to be quiet. But yeah, there was a lot of planes in that film, so he took us up in a plane and then had the aviator shades on and put us in, you know, where you drop the plane and you go in zero gravity for a second for the rest of it? Yeah, and I hadn't agreed to any of that before I got in that plane. It was amazing. And they also, flew a plane, 8 feet over my head. I was standing there.
What?
Yeah.
That's too close.
That's what I said. I said the exact same thing. And we had to shoot it, multiple times. And Tom ended up filming it. It was bizarre. They came up, he was like, this looks awesome. And then he ran away to grab a camera.
Good Tom Cruise running. Very good.
Thank you. All the way up. And yeah, he went and he grabbed a camera and came back and sprinted back with the camera and set it up and started filming himself. It was mad.
Your dad, Brendan Gleeson, had worked with him. Did he kind of tell you about working with him?
He did not take my dad up in a plane. I don't... Yeah. My dad would have knocked him out. No. Yeah, Dad had worked with him before that, but no, I don't think he'd experienced the full cruise.
Yes.
Cruise does everything. He's just that dude. He's
cruise control.
Down for everything.
And now, the thing is, The West Wing, it was a brilliant, brilliant series. You were in it for 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible success for any television programme.
Well, particularly a show about politics.
And, of course, one of the really famous things about it was that Aaron Sorkin, who wrote it, he did all that really intricate dialogue, all the overlapping...
Yeah, he was very famous for that. The famous walk and talks we would do.
Loving the walk and talks.
Yes.
No, they are. They're genius. They're really good. Are they really hard to learn?
Well, we loved them because by doing a walk and talk, you didn't have to do any coverage. If you did a regular scene that was 6 or 8 pages, it would take hours and hours and hours of doing the close-ups and the medium shots and all that. But if you did a walk and talk, you did it in one, and that would maybe take 2 or 3 hours. But you had to remember your lines and hit your mark precisely, you know, as your camera went in front of you. So they were very difficult to do, but we were happy as Larry to do them rather than coverage.
They can be hard to watch. And sometimes you have to rewind and go, right, what were they just saying?
Usually, the show, I don't shift my arse for the show. I just sit here and we talk, we're done. So, because of you, we've been inspired. Okay. So what we thought we could do is we could do a piece of walking and talking, OK? So, what I thought we could do is we've got a steady cam there.
Right,
don't wave your camera there a bit. Oh, we can't, it's steady. Anyway, if you follow him, so we're following him, so don't worry about where we're going.
OK.
He knows where we're going.
OK, swell.
OK.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not mild. Do you know what I mean? It's not worth getting sponsored or anything. It's not, we can't cure a disease in the next minute or so.
OK.
But...
OK.
All right, so, are you ready?
I'm ready.
OK, we'll go down the step. Don't you start yet, sir. OK, here we go. The steps and things. OK, we're all set. OK, you ready?
Yeah.
Yep. OK, you ready?
Yeah.
OK, go. Welcome to the show. Did you watch the BAFTAs? Prince William Chopper, John Prescott is very fat. Please welcome my guests, Martin Sheen and Ed Byrne. There they are. Now, Martin Sheen, you don't like George Bush, do you?
No, not a whole lot. No, I never cared for him. Nope.
Ed Byrne, George Bush went to Ireland, didn't he?
All the best.
I'm not taking around any kind of weapons whatsoever on him.
OK.
Now, good to see you.
Both of you?
No. Can't talk to you right now. Here, he's right here. Good, all the best.
Byrne doesn't like Terminal 5.
Where did you buy this from?
Martin Sheen, apologies now. You nearly died.
Yes, I nearly died, but I'm alive.
And your wife saved you.
Yes, she did.
You're getting married.
Thanks a lot, Janet.
I am, but I'm not quite sure when I'm getting married.
Oh, yes, very good.
Think about that. give that some thought. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we always get married for the wrong reason.
Oh,
I was trying to say something. Joy, that's it.
Oh,
come with me. Come with me.
St. George's Day. We're all very proud. Big Storm. Just crossed our
There you go. Thanks so much. All the best.
St. Patrick.
Hello.
Very good. Okay, right around here. Okay, now. The elections. Are you supporting Hillary or Barack Obama?
Well, I'm in kind of a bind there. You know what I'm saying? All the best. All that good.
Very good.
All the best. Thanks so much. All the best. God bless.
Who do you think who you supporting?
For me, it's Obama. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Bill. You know, I haven't had a chance to talk to him
In
yet.
West Wing, I love the walk and talk. I'd love to hear you walk and talk. Right here. Go back in here. Walk and talk. Here we go.
All the best. Fine. All the best. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good. Good to see you. Good. All the best. That's the way you do it.
Get out there. That's a precedent. That's very good. Oh. I thought Gordon Brown would do that. Now, I have to say, I'm slightly surprised that Piers Morgan's doing it, because I don't know if you know, he's a big Donald Trump supporter. And I know you're not a fan.
I'm really not. No, I am reminded of a time about 5 years ago. I was at a dinner with my ex-wife Brooke and her family and this and that. And about halfway through, I noticed Donald staring at my watch. And so he started saying, you know, listen, I'm sorry that I wasn't invited to your wedding, this and that, or I'm sorry I can't make your wedding. And I was like, I didn't invite you. So he says, but, you know, I want to give you an early wedding gift as a gesture from me and Melania. And she doesn't say a word. She's very sweet and very pretty, but just kind of sits there, you know? Yeah. Anywho, so he says, these are platinum diamond Harry Winston, and he pulls off his cufflinks, and he gives them to me. And so I'm like, oh, gosh, Mr. Trump, you really shouldn't do this. He goes, no, it's the least I can do and, you know, have a great marriage and all that. Little did he know. So smash cut to about 6 months later. I had some jewelry getting appraised at the house, you know, and she finished and was leaving. And I said, oh, yeah, you know, there's another couple of pieces that I have that I'm very curious about. Would you mind appraising these? She said, no, what are they? I said, well, you know, I explained the dinner and this and that. These are from Donald Trump, Harry Winston, you know, flawless D's, platinum. She took the loop, spent about 4 seconds and kind of recoiled from it, much like people do from Trump. And so she says, in their finest moment, this is cheap pewter and bad zirconias. And they're stamped Trump. And I just thought, what does this really say about the man? You know, that he said, here's like a great wedding gift, and it's just a bag of dog, you know. Now, is that the laughter I can hear coming from across the pond at our country about this charlatan?
It's quite. Listen, it's scary times all over the place.
It really is.
But
really
you're having
is.
very scary times. Yeah.
But I have faith that good and decent people will make the right choice, and the circus will leave town before it contaminates the Oval Office.
Yeah. Jaden or Will? But like, what? Can I say everything in front of Jaden?
Yes. Yeah. Jaden is very mature, but be careful, okay?
Okay. Check this out. Jaden, have you seen the Hangover films?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's cleared everything.
Did you see the Hangover? They said my name in Hangover 2. I was in the movie theater like, yeah, son, yeah.
What'd they say?
It was like the boy was lost, and they were like, we're looking for a boy. He's lost in Asia.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Lost in Asia.
The Karate Kid.
And then he's like, Karate Kid, James Smith. and I was just people like, yeah, son, yeah. I called them and told them to say that.
Have you seen any of Heather Graham's other films?
I think I've seen the one that
6
you guys
degrees,
were in
yeah.
together.
Okay.
6 degrees.
Yeah.
It's all right. We let him watch that.
Yeah, we'll draw a veil there.
That's a lovely.
Thank you very much. You don't need to Google yourself, because to humble yourself, you just need to do the red carpet with your father.
Oh, no.
Like, you are so mean to that boy on the red carpet. Oh, no, look.
Look, what?
Look at that.
Yes.
Jaden doesn't think so. And that might be cute. This one is just mean.
Which one is this?
Oh, no.
Always.
And listen, that's just me trying to counter the Googles. No, but I really, I'm just so proud of him, and I just want him to feel the affection,
And it's true. I mean, there is a thing where I know you were like, but when oh
no, sorry, no, I just like, come on,
But you do get to an age where you start to embrace that your parents dote on you. I know that from when I was a teenager, I was like, but now I allow it. I can't. I lap it up. I love it.
So Jaden, just take one, because you've been fighting me the whole press tour. Just take one.
What?
Just take one. I just want to kiss
one
you.
what?
I want to kiss you and just say Jaden.
Keep a smile.
Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Dad.
That was great, right?
Really.
That was great.